Thanks for joining Sapelo NERRds, a coastal science podcast. I'm your host, Corinne.
And I'm your host, Brittany. And we work at the National Estuarine Research Reserve, or NERR, on Sapelo Island, a Georgia barrier island.
In today's episode, What is SINERR? I thought we could go over what a NERR is.
In government, we love our acronyms. A NERR, or N-E-R-R, stands for the National Estuarine Research Reserve. So, who is a part of a NERR? Each NERR is a partnership between our federal agency, NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and a state partner. For some reserves, that might be a university, but here in Georgia, the partner is the Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Resource Division.
Absolutely. We are one of 30 coastal sites across the U.S. that protects and studies estuaries. Currently, every coastal state but Louisiana has a reserve, and Louisiana is actually trying to select a site for a reserve, so that's coming soon. You may be wondering, what is an estuary? We like to say an estuary is where the rivers meet the sea, but NOAA defines it as where two chemically distinct bodies of water meet. That's why we have two reserves on the Great Lakes, Old Woman Creek in Ohio and Lake Superior in Wisconsin.
But why protect them? There are many reasons why estuaries are important, and we'll talk about those reasons in future episodes, so everyone should be sure to subscribe. But a few of the key reasons are that they host a lot of diversity and provide a lot of services, such as filtration and flood control, and they highly impact the economy. I mean, out of the 32 largest cities in the world, 22 of them are on estuaries.
Our reserve is 6,100 acres along the western perimeter of Sapelo Island, an island located midway down the Georgia coast. SINERR became the second reserve in the system in 1976. We were beat out by South Slough in Oregon in 1974. At that time, Georgia was already working on a lot of protections for our marshes with the Coastal Marshlands Protection Act, which the state passed in 1970. This act is why Georgia still has 1/3 of the entire East Coast salt marsh habitat within our only 100 miles of coastline. But it was the Federal Coastal Zone Management Act of 1972 that established the NERR system.
And each of the NERRs are a little bit different based off of their location. So they have their own programs focused on different local impacts, but there are a few initiatives that every reserve follows. The Research and Monitoring Program conducts short and long-term monitoring of water quality, weather, biological systems, habitat, and more. It's called our System-Wide Monitoring Program, or SWMP SWAMP for short. One thing that makes us unique is that a lot of this data is available for anyone to access at any time online. You can look in the description for a link to see our real-time data. Rachel, our research coordinator, is working on a few ongoing studies to help facilitate other researchers coming to Sapelo Island.
We've both really enjoyed helping Rachel on her Estuarine Fish Monitoring Cooperative, or EFMC, research trawls, looking at what species of larval fish use the estuaries around Sapelo. The EFMC is a partnership between University of Georgia's Marine Extension and Georgia Sea Grant, the College of Coastal Georgia, and our NERR. This is a really neat program because we work with volunteers and students to trawl 3 different Georgia sounds each month. So far, this program has documented over 85 distinct species and counted tens of thousands of individual aquatic organisms. Another core program is our stewardship program, which ensures each NERR is protected and functional. On Sapelo, Colby is our stewardship coordinator and is working on a couple of habitat restoration projects, monitoring trail cams to learn more about what animals are on the reserve, and works with our incredible Friends group to maintain our island's unique ecosystems.
The Friends of Sapelo is a nonprofit volunteer group that helps us with a ton of different projects around the island. If you're interested in learning more about Friends of Sapelo or would like to join, look for a link in the description of today's episode.
And then, of course, there's our programs. I work with Adam, our education coordinator, to educate children, adults, and teachers about estuaries. Sometimes I visit groups on the mainland, but we really prefer to bring people like HOAs, schools, scout programs, and other organized groups out to the island. Anyone can actually sign up for our public tours as well on Wednesdays and Saturdays. For more information, you can check sapelonerr.org. That's sapelonerr.org. And Brittany, you're the CTP.
Yep, I am the Coastal Training Program Coordinator. The Coastal Training Program provides support, training, and information to communities so that they can better manage the coastal resources so vital to our way of life. I help make our research relevant to our coastal communities by working with politicians, community leaders, and professionals. I cover a lot of different topics that we will be covering in our future podcasts, from HOA management and green infrastructure to coastal resiliency and hazard mitigation.
So we don't have any listener questions in yet, and I was going to tell an estuary joke here, but it's a little salty.
Well, I have a watershed joke, but I don't know if I can manage it.
But for real, why do seagulls fly over the sea?
I don't know why.
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagel. Bad jokes aside, if you would like to submit listener questions about the reserve or the estuarine systems in general, please contact us at sinerr.socials@gmail.com. That's SINERR.socials@gmail.com, and your question could be featured on a future episode.
Thank you for listening to Sapelo NERRds, a coastal science podcast. Episodes are released on the 1st and the 15th, so be sure to check back for more.
And that's the Sapelo Sound.